over here. Thank you.
Sorry.
Let me thank the chairman, and let me thank the ranking member as well for the yielding of the time, and just to put on the record for my colleagues that we were in a Homeland Security markup, and therefore I did not have the wisdom of the questions asked and maybe answered by my colleagues. I'm going to start out first to congratulate you for your service. We on the Judiciary Committee have interacted with the FBI over the years, and many directors, and we know how important the responsibilities that you have are. We also know how important it is to have an agency with such high esteem to reflect the diversity of America. Can you give me the outreach and the diversity numbers that you have with respect to women, African American, Hispanics, and Asians?
With respect to within our population?
Yes.
Yeah. Sitting here, I can't give you the exact figures, but it's not good enough. And the representation is below that in the workforce for similar cohorts. But I can get you the numbers.
Would you get me the numbers? And so what internal effort now is being suggested or implemented under your leadership to answer your own question that it is not good enough?
Well, first and foremost, the director, me, talking about it a lot. I sent a message to all 36,000 of my employees explaining why I care about diversity and why it matters. I believe it's a matter of effectiveness and doing the right thing. And so I sent them all that email to try and drive my view into this great organization. And then on a more tactical level, where the rubber hits the road is in our recruitment efforts at colleges of different sorts, job fairs of different sorts. I mean, it's a complicated answer, but there's a lot going on. We have progress to make.
Well, I will work with you. I'd like to get those numbers, and I'd like to work with the FBI on its outreach approach. The second small point that I want to make is that you have SACs in our local areas. Let me thank you for the service of the SAC. One of the most important aspects of their work is letting the local community know what they do. So I encourage you to encourage your SACs. When a member of Congress calls for them to join them at a town hall meeting or a university, which is a nonpartisan, let them realize that part of their work as a SAC is to be engaged with the community. That's where they are, and it's very important. I hope that you will view that as an important role, not taken away from investigations, but an important role.
Oh, I agree very much with that. I speak to all my SACs once a week, and one of the things I've told them repeatedly is, you are my representative in each of your communities, so get out there, know people, speak to people. The more you know the FBI, I think the more you like. We just have to we got to get out there and talk to folks.
I think you're very right. Now I want to pose a question. I'm from Texas, and we have been dealing with a case that seems to have gotten caught in quagmire. Alfred Wright, a 28-year-old African-American male from Jasper, Texas, and you may be familiar with Jasper, Texas, which was the site of the James Barrett killing, whose body was found 18 days after it was first reported in a location that had allegedly been searched more than 17 days before by local law enforcement. He was a honors graduate and well-liked and beloved from a family that was well-respected in the area. I recognize that this may be an ongoing investigation, but what I'm going to request is a general briefing on the general parameters, because here's what I'm hearing, Mr. Director, that this has gotten caught up in a scale of injustice that is almost unbelievable, which includes local officials. People are suspicious and suspect of even federal law enforcement as to whether or not there is a too close and chummy a relationship. And I do not make these allegations. I make this in the form of an inquiry. So it is Alfred Wright, and I do want to get a briefing if you have any assessment of it at this time. The other is the Robbie Toller case, which I believe this is a case of a young man shot on his own front lawn with his parents saying that this is his house and his car by a police officer in Bel Air, Texas. Unfortunately, this officer under the state system was acquitted. We're asking for a reinvestigation which would include the FBI. I will pass on to you this letter, and I'm also going to ask unanimous consent to put this letter into the record that I have sent, and also the letter again regarding Mr. Alfred Wright. But let me finish my questions on 2 points. What kind of work the FBI is doing on local police abuse cases, and do you take those seriously? And secondarily, with respect to your priorities in investigation. I think Mr. Holder made one point, I want to make another. But in your investigation in drug cases, do you prioritize with cartels and major actors versus the local guy on the street with a crack possession situation that may wind up in federal system but is not going to harm anybody but himself? If you could answer those two questions, I'd appreciate it.
Time to the gentlelady has expired, but if you want to take those, we'll certainly let you
I
do
thank the
that.
chairman for his courtesy.
With respect to the drug cases, you're exactly right. Our focus is on the international groups or the gangs that are dominating a particular community. So if we're working, as I said to the earlier question, if we're working a lower level offender, it's in order to make the bigger case against the international group or the street gang. And with respect to the civil rights cases, it's police brutality cases, police corruption cases are an important part of our civil rights investigative priority. As you may have seen, we recently indicted a bunch of people from the sheriff's office in Los Angeles. It's work we do around the country, so it remains, unfortunately, but a necessary, important part of what we do.
Thank you,
And
Director Comey.
Mr. Chairman, I just want
Gentleman's
to
time has expired.
may I ask to put just a correct name in? I said the name incorrectly, and I just wanted to make sure that I put the gentleman's name correctly in the record for this letter. So I just asked the gentleman to yield. The gentleman's name that I was speaking of, so the FBI director would have it, would be Robbie Tolan. I'm so sorry. Tolan.
Without objection, name should be entered in the record.
back.
Chair now recognizes himself for a period.